Hey Pistons fans, welcome back to another edition of Pistons Daily, your go-to podcast for daily Detroit Pistons content, game recaps, Coach T's keys, trade rumors, and real conversations about what's going well with our favorite team, the Detroit Pistons, and what's not going so well. I'm your host, Tony Nash, aka Coach T, and if you love the Detroit Pistons like I do, you've come to the right place because we talk about that team every single day right here on Pistons Daily. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel, head on over to our YouTube page, hit the notification bell, leave us a 5-star review. Any way we could support the channel, I would really appreciate it. We're so close to 2,500 subscribers, so share this with all your friends who are Pistons fans, share it on your Facebook groups, and let people know we exist so we can keep building this community. We got a lot to talk about today, so let's get right into it. I don't know if any of you saw this, but a company, or not a company, but a creator called Greatest Highlights. They have 6.8 million followers on Facebook, and somehow I'm one of those 6.8 million. And they just did a ranking of the last 10 number one overall picks. So they took the last 10 picks, and there we go with that sound again. Sorry, guys. They did the last 10 number one picks. So I guess going back to 2015 or 2016. And they ranked them 1 through 10. And this list is absolutely diabolical, in my opinion. But I'd love to get your feedback. This will be some great conversation to get going on in the comments. Obviously, our Pistons are off until Thursday night when they play Phoenix, which will be a tough game for them at home. But we'll talk more about that as we get closer to the game. But I wanted to give you this list. So, of course, they have number 1, Victor Wembanyama. No real debate there. I mean, Wemby is a freak athlete, and if he stays healthy, he's going to be, a top 10 all-time player, I believe. But number 2 was Paolo Banchero, which is crazy to me. Number 3, Anthony Edwards, not too bad. Number 4, Cooper Flag, which is nuts. I mean, he's just a rookie this year. He's had some good moments, and I think he's going to be a very good player. But to put him at number 4 of the top 10 overall picks. Number 5, Zion Williamson. Crazy take. He's had so much injury. I think if Zion stayed healthy, he might be number 1 on this list because when he's healthy, he's absolutely dominant. Number 6, gonna blow your mind, DeAndre Ayton. Number 7, Cade Cunningham, which again, crazy. I mean, with the season Cade's having, he's top 3 in my opinion on this list. Number 8, Zachary Rissaker. Number 9, Ben Simmons. And number 10, Markelle Fultz. And so, I don't know. What are your thoughts about this list? I think it's absolutely crazy. I think if I were going to redo this list, I think Cade would definitely be in the top 3. If you read through the comments on this post, and go on over there and give them some comments. There's actually a lot of comments on the post. It's Greatest Highlights on Facebook. There's a lot of pro-Ant and a lot of pro-Cade comments on there. Everyone believes a lot of people believe Cade should be in the top 3. 2 and 3 go back and forth between Cade and Anthony Edwards. And to have Cooper Flag, Zion Williamson, and DeAndre Ayton above Cade Cunningham is just crazy. But I thought I would share that with you guys to let you know what you thought. I thought at first when I saw it, this is just clickbait. But this is a legit creator, and this is what they do, and this is their list, and they said it's based on all sorts of projected future potential, and college, and all these different overall rating stuff that they did, and I just think it's crazy. But then DraftKings did one as well, and they did the same thing, and it's actually not too far different. They had Wemby at 1, they had Anthony Edwards at 2. They had Cooper Flag at 3. Again, Cooper Flag above Cade. Paolo Banchero at number 4, and then Cade at 5. So again, how is Paolo above Cade Cunningham? I don't understand. I guess I'm going to need a better explanation. So maybe some of you in the comments could let me know why this might be. I think it's a crazy take. Zion Williamson at 6. DeAndre Ayton at 7. Rissaker at 8. Ben Simmons at 9. Markelle Fultz at 10. So if I were going to do the list of top 10 overall picks in the last 10 drafts, trying to be as completely objective as I can, but also having watched a lot of Cade Cunningham basketball and understanding how he affects winning, I would probably still go Wemby at number 1 because he hasn't had a super significant injury yet, although he did miss a lot of time last year and he's already missed time this year. My worry about Wemby is guys that size do not stay healthy historically. Guys that have been that height in the NBA have not had long careers. So that's a gamble, but if he stays healthy, that's a no-brainer, number 1. I would actually put Cade Cunningham at number 2. It's really close between him and Anthony Edwards, in my opinion, but the way Cade is more consistent and Cade impacts winning far more, I think, than Anthony Edwards does. Then I would probably put Paolo Banchero at number 4, Cooper Flagg at number 5. I would keep Zion Williamson at 6, DeAndre Ayton at 7, Rissikar at 8, Ben Simmons at 9, and Markelle Fultz at 10. So let me know your thoughts on this. How would you rank those last 10 picks? A few of those were busts, obviously. The Sixers did not do well with Ben Simmons and Markelle Fultz for sure. They both had tremendous potential but couldn't pan out. But what do you think? Is Cade still not getting the respect? I think from the league perspective, I think Cade's getting a lot of respect. He's in all the MVP conversations. A lot of the sports analysts are talking about him, and he's really proven himself. And Cade is just that guy. And so I thought as Pistons fans, we would love to talk about where Cade should be on that list. Let me know. Do you have him at 2, 3? Do you have him at 1? You might say I would take him over Wemby because of Wemby's propensity for injury, but I don't know. As it stands right now, I probably would still go with Wemby at number 1. And then secondly, FanDuel just released their mid-season odds for Coach of the Year, and they picked the top 5 coaches who they think have the best odds to win Coach of the Year so far. And at number 5, with a plus 4,000, you had Mike Brown of the New York Knicks. At plus 400, you had Jordan Ott of the Phoenix Suns. At a plus 350, you had Joe Mazzulla of the Celtics. At a plus 320, you had Mitch Johnson. And then at a plus 170, JB Bickerstaff. So they had JB as number 1. I think with the body of work JB has put together, the turnaround to be from 2 years ago, just an awful record, 28 losses in a row, to last year tripling their wins, making a great playoff run. Obviously, they lost in the first series, but gave them a real run. And then the way they've been playing this year, second best record in the NBA, and the way they've been able to win, and the way he has buy-in with these guys, and the defensive mentality, and to get what he's getting with as little as he has to work with. I think, to me, as of right now, there's no question that JB Bickerstaff should be Coach of the Year. We'll see how the season pans out. I thought he had a good case for it last year. Obviously didn't go his way just because of the big turnaround. I mean, to take a team, first team ever to have triple the amount of wins from the previous season, but not even just to go the triple wins, but to go from an absolute awful team that couldn't win a game to, giving the Knicks probably the most difficult series they had, obviously leading up to the Pacers. But so what do you think? Obviously, as Pistons fans, we want to root for JB, but just based on these things, I mean, Joe Mazzulla, I think, is having a great season. Mitch Johnson, obviously having a great season, but he has a lot to work with there. He has some players. Jordan Ott, I think there's a good case. And then Mike Brown, I don't know. I mean, I think he's better than Tibbs, but he's not, to me, in the runnings for Coach of the Year. So let me know your thoughts. Let me know in the comments what you think about that. And then Bleacher Report just released their latest power rankings for the NBA, and I thought this was good. I'm talking a lot about rankings today because I thought this would be a fun topic on a Tuesday, no games, just to kind of talk about some things that the Pistons are being talked about in the national media. So Bleacher Report released their power rankings, and they had, no surprise, OKC at number 1, but they had our Detroit Pistons at number 2, and I think they were 5 on the last one. So it moved them all the way up to number 2, I think because of the big wins we had against the Lakers, against the Knicks, against the Cavs. Those were really helpful to us. And so, I think if we didn't have injuries the other night, we probably would be sitting at 4-game win streak right now. But we'll see how we do Thursday night against Phoenix, see if we have our guys back. Then they have Houston at number 3, Boston at 4, Minnesota at 5, San Antonio at number 6, Denver at number 7. New York has dropped all the way down to number 8. They were number 2 or 3 at one point. Phoenix at number 9 and Philadelphia at 10. So, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 East teams in the top 10, which I think is great. A lot of people say the East isn't as difficult, but Boston, New York, Philly are all looking good. And listen, don't sleep on Toronto, Orlando, or Cleveland. And so I know people say the East isn't as strong as the West, and I agree, but the East is no just absolute weak conference. There are some good teams here, and those teams are performing well against Western Conference teams. Obviously, we saw New York beat San Antonio. We've seen Orlando beat a few Western Conference teams. We've seen Boston win a few Western Conference games. And so, the West is certainly the better conference, but the East is not as weak, I think, as everyone is saying, because you have some teams that have a lot to prove and a lot to play for, and that's dangerous. So I was happy to see the Pistons at number 2. I do think right now we are the number 2 team in the league based on our record, based on the way we're getting wins, based on the depth of our squad. I can't wait to see how we stack up against OKC and San Antonio. Those will both be great games to kind of see where we're at. Obviously, we got Phoenix this week, so that'll be a good one to kind of see where we're at. But what are your thoughts? I mean, do you think 2 is a fair spot for the Pistons? Do we need to be higher? Obviously, I don't think we're better than OKC right now. Do you think it's too high? Some of you that are not maybe diehard Pistons fans, do you think the Pistons should be lower? Let me know your thoughts. And then I want to round out today's episode with, we've talked about Jaren Jackson Jr. once, probably about a month ago. There was a trade rumor about bringing him to Detroit, and I haven't heard much about it recently, but it's kind of resurfaced again. Obviously, so many trade rumors surrounding the Pistons right now. There's new ones every day. I actually saw one about John Morant coming to the Pistons. There was a trade proposal by Bleacher Report, which I'll talk about tomorrow. But Jaren Jackson Jr., former Michigan State guy, great player, always plays well against the Pistons. There's a proposal that has Tobias Harris, Duncan Robinson, and Karis LeVert going to the Grizzlies for Jaren Jackson. No picks, getting rid of those guys. To me, tough to lose Duncan. But Tobias and LeVert, to me, I mean, I don't know if Jaren Jackson Jr. is the answer for our team. I got to be honest with you. I don't know a ton about. I haven't followed his career a lot. I know when he's played the Pistons, he's had some good games. I've seen him play a few other times. But he's a 6'10 forward, almost 250 pounds. He's just 26 years old. He's averaging 18.5 points a game, 5.5 rebounds, 2 assists, shooting 48% from the field. So he's got a very high shooting percentage. Just 36% from 3. So to me, I don't know how he addresses that stretch 4 problem. I think him and JD in down low together is not a good combo. It's not a good fit. It doesn't stretch the floor. Defensively, probably good, but I think Stu is a better stretch 4 in terms of fitting with our squad and the chemistry. I'm not saying that Stu is necessarily a better player offensively than Jaren Jackson. Certainly a better defender and a better shooter. Stu's shooting the 3 at about almost 40%, 38, 39%. And he can guard a lot of different people. So to me, this one doesn't make the most sense. I don't think it's the right fit for us. But I know in Michigan, there's a lot of State fans, which means there's probably a lot of JJJ fans out there. And what do you think? Let me know in the comments why you think JJJ might be a good fit for the Pistons. Again, to me, guys, and I've said this before, building a championship team is not just about putting together the best players. We've seen teams that had great players and couldn't win games. You remember for that 2018 Cavs team that had LeBron, D. Wade, Derrick Rose, Isaiah Thomas, Tristan Thompson, Kevin Love. I mean, they had all these players, right? Just an unbelievable lineup. And they couldn't win because the chemistry wasn't there. And we've seen that before with teams that have a lot of good players that just don't have the chemistry. And, I think, with the guys we have and with the trade capital, the picks we have, and we probably could bring in, another all-star or a big name for the right price. But, just having another good player does not necessarily make us a better team. It's having a good player that's willing to come in and play Detroit basketball. That's why Rasheed Wallace worked out so much. Rasheed is a consummate professional. He's the consummate teammate. He came in and was willing to play Detroit basketball. Defense first. He was unselfish. The guy could score almost at will, but didn't demand the ball every time. very unselfish player, good locker room guy. And so if we are going to bring in someone, it can't just be a big name. It's got to be someone who doesn't disrupt the harmony of what we're building here in Detroit. And so to me, if there's a trade, it's all about chemistry. It's all about, does their history show defense is important to them? Does their history show that they are coachable? Does their history show that they're a good locker room culture guy? Does their history show, or do they want to be in Detroit? I think that's a big thing. We've had a lot of big names come to Detroit begrudgingly, and it hasn't worked out well. And so those are a lot of things to consider. I'm certain that Trajan Langdon and the people in the front office are considering all those factors, but we've heard over and over there's no real push to make a big blockbuster trade. We talked about yesterday how, there's a part of me that's like, hey, let's just let this thing ride out and see how we do. And maybe we're a championship contender, maybe we're not, but this is the type of team that could shock the world. And so why disrupt it until we can really show what they can do? And so to me, outside of giving up someone like a Duncan Robinson or a Tobias Harris, not a Duncan Robinson, a Karis LeVert or a Tobias Harris, and maybe even a Duncan, although I do like Duncan and what he brings to us. Outside of those guys, I don't think we should get rid of any of these young guys or picks right now. I think maybe we just let it ride out and let's see how it goes. But as always, I want to hear your thoughts. The thing I love most about doing this podcast, guys, is I read the comments almost every day. I like interacting with other Pistons fans. I have 3 sons that go to a lot of games with me. They're big Pistons fans, but they're younger guys. And I like the fact that we got a good, diverse audience on here, and I love your feedback. And some of you guys heavily disagree and aren't afraid to tell me that, and I love it. And some of you guys agree with me. So I really appreciate the feedback that we get on this podcast, and it really helps me as a content creator bring you guys the best stuff, the stuff that you want to hear, the stuff that you want to talk about, and it really rounds my perspective as a good Pistons fan. And I think with anything, it's good to have multiple voices in your ear so that you can get a good, well-rounded perspective. So that's all I got for today, guys. Let's hope our team is getting some good rest. Let's hope we're going to be at full strength on Thursday night. It's still questionable. I haven't heard a lot about Cade. I haven't heard a lot about JD. Tobias, I think, might be out for a little bit longer. I think Stu was just battling a little illness, so I think we'll have him. So let's see, but hopefully we will have a full squad on Thursday night and get that win against Phoenix. I do have tickets to the game. Haven't decided if I'm going or not yet. Probably am not, so if you're looking for tickets, let me know. But again, thanks for joining. We'll be back tomorrow. I'll be talking about some other things that I found related to our team, as well as a potential trade proposal for Ja Morant. Does Ja Morant fit with Detroit? I don't know. So let me know what you think about these number 1 pick rankings, about this Coach of the Year, the Power Rankings, and Triple J. Let me know what your thoughts. So thanks again for watching, guys. Enjoy your Tuesday, and as always, Detroit basketball. Let's go, baby.